Welcome back, folks. We're going to be talking about how I passed my Traidefy evaluation that I started last week in just 5 days. I was actually in drawdown early on the week. I had a couple mechanical mistakes as well as some actual tech issues where my account didn't get copied into Replicanta the way it was supposed to. So I was red for the first 3 days of the week, and then I made a huge bounce back on Thursday and Friday. So we're going to be talking about the last couple trades on the account to go from negative $500 give or take to passing in just 2 days. The first trade that started the streak is going to be this one, which is 930 opening price on Thursday. I had already made my choice that I was going to be bearish for at least some time until this low was taken out. That was my draw on liquidity. Now this low is London low. And I just had reasons to think that this was going to be really the draw for me. If you're interested in finding out a little bit more about that, you can go and watch the live stream I did. I stream Monday through Friday on YouTube on this same channel. I start right around 7 a.m. and then I finish trading whenever I'm done for the day. So we had the open coming up. We had CPI already come here. We made a change instead of delivery to the downside after CPI was done. And so what I was really looking for is to do a 930 continuation play, preferably of the first percentage fair value gap. And so what we get here is change instead of delivery, relatively equal highs from this high to that high, being ran one more time for a brand new change instead of delivery. This is a breaker block, which is my preferred PD array to work with. And so this breaker block gives me an area and framework to start working with. Now, after that happened, zoom in real tight because you would have missed this detail unless you zoomed in. We have a low, a high that gets put in here, which is liquidity, and then a lower low that becomes a change instead of delivery to the upside. Okay, so this is a real breaker. So if you were to draw this, that would be essentially the pattern that you would see. Therefore, this is actually a bullish breaker. Okay. Now I know that the first breaker that happens after 930 tends to be some sort of manipulation and doesn't really stay unless significant liquidity was taken out of the market. And so I'm already thinking this low is low probability. What I want the market to do is I want the market to then expand to the downside and give me some sort of fair value gap inside of that, because that would be the first fair value gap of the day. And sure enough, we get pushed to the downside with a change instead of delivery, because now this low here, that was a breaker to the upside, becomes a breaker to the downside, right? And so if we draw that out, let's do it real quick. Top, bottom, top here. Sure, yep, like that, like so. And so when we close below here, that's the change instead of delivery to the downside. And the breaker block for this play would become this big candle here. So we have this breaker block, we have the bigger breaker block, but most importantly, we have the first percentage fair value gap that I have highlighted here. So realistically, I could have gotten on my trade at any point once we pushed into this candle here, or once we push into the fair value gap, because you can really do it off the open or you can do it off the wicks, just depending on what you're trying to target and what you think NQ was going to do. Personally, what I wanted to see is I wanted to see price run back into this breaker block from the upside, because really that's where the move really continued from originally. And so what I did is I waited for some sort of high to be formed in the market, which in this case, it was 948. Once 948 was formed, 950 is the macro window. That pushed aggressively above 948, which is to me a liquidity grab on the lower time frames, and that was where my entry was. It was a 15-second entry. Let's zoom that in real quick. And so I'm looking for this high to get ran as liquidity to then enter the trade. Now my entry was here, give or take, just a couple ticks above. Stop loss goes on the top of the first candle of the first percentage fair value gap, like so. And then my take profit was going to be about 3 standard deviations, about 4 standard deviations from The OG breaker. That's what it was. My bad. So OG breaker, which is right around here. And you see me exit right around here. I'll put the replay here. All right, cool. So yeah, as you can see, I mean, I got somewhere around 9R. I don't know if my entry was like here or here, but it's somewhere between 8.5, 9R, somewhere in there. So yeah, quite a chunky trade. Really good bounce back, put me back in the green by quite a bit for today. So yeah, that's trade number one. Let's go into trade number two. All right, so this is trade number two. Trade number two was an overnight play. I knew the market was going to make some moves overnight just because volatility has been so high that it actually has some pretty decent moves. And so when the market opened back up right around the 1800 candle, I was looking to see if I could find anything. Unfortunately, this push down was so aggressive that there wasn't really anything in there that I would feel comfortable risking my money on. So once we came here, we had a change in set of delivery to the upside on this high. And we have a breaker block to the upside. This is a 5-minute time frame. You guys can see on the very bottom here, you can look, or the very top left corner, we'll have it there too. We had a change in set of delivery. And once we had that happen, I'm like, okay, cool. I can start looking upwards. I don't like to do changes to the deliveries on the 1 minute. I want to do something higher, like a 5-minute, 15-minute, hourly, and so on. And so after we had the changes to the delivery, I'm looking for some sort of low to get ran as liquidity. So then I can start looking for the next potential play. In this case, we have this low here on the 5-minute that gets formed with a breaker. So a new changes to the delivery to the upside here. And that would be a swing high, lower low, higher high, making this a breaker to the upside. Now the breaker candle would be this candle right here. Mark it up, use. Okay. So that's the actual breaker candle. Okay. And inside of this fair value gap here on the 5-minute, we have a little tiny volume imbalance right here. And that's why you don't see me drawing the fair value gap like this, but more like this. Now, this breaker block candle is really important to me because I'm using the 5-minute time frame to frame this idea. And on the 1 minute, if we go down to it, that breaker block pretty much lines up with the breaker block on the 1 minute as well, which is low, high, lower low, higher high. And so if we drag this line across here, that's where I want my entry to be. Now, admittedly, I did not expect this to push all the way up here before we came back to tag my order. And so what happened is right around 10:30, I set a limit order. I'll try to attach a screenshot somewhere on here for my Discord message. Okay, awesome. And I wanted this order to hold by having this busy play happen where the busy stays intact. It tags me into the breaker and it goes. Now my target was going to be 4 standard deviations of the 5-minute breaker. So if we go here from this bottom to this top, this is my target. And yeah, I just left the order, left it overnight, went to sleep, woke up. When I woke up, my order had gotten tagged just not too long ago. I woke up right around like 5:30, 5:50. And yeah, I got tagged pretty much almost to the tick. And so my order looked like so. And my take profit was, let me see what candle it was. My take profit was this black candle here when it pulled back right around here, give or take. So I got about 5.5 hour on this trade or so on an overnight play, making me pretty much almost past the eval on this trade. So let's go to trade number 3. And so what we have here is after we had the massive push up, I was looking at the market. We had a change in set of delivery to the downside on the 5-minute time frame. And so I'm looking for some sort of run on highs or relatively equal highs for me to get involved. And then a change in set of delivery to the downside, sort of like a double confirmation on the 5-minute time frame to really tell me that we are going to go down at least for some time. We did have PPI on this day. So I also wasn't trying to front run PPI, to be honest, because, you know, it just doesn't make sense for me to try to front run news. But yeah, I have this high here, relatively equal to that one, with no change in set of delivery on this portion, but rather this portion. So I was hoping that we would get some sort of discount PPI comes right at 8:30, which is here. Let me hit the replay real quick. And so PPI runs that high and then it starts kind of coming down. As it comes down on the 5-minute, again, we create a CB showing me that we have strength to the downside is showing displacement. Along with that, we have a change in set of delivery here. So again, another breaker block. Again, my favorite PD array. And so I know that in this area here on this high, that's basically what I want to get involved on my sell. So what I did is I pretty much wanted to sell at the peak if I possibly could. And what that looked like is here on this top area, right on the busy, because it's a 5-minute time frame. I know that it very likely has, you know, a chance to wick essentially, and it doesn't really have to. It doesn't really necessarily have to stay open all the way. I guess is the better way I can say it. A lot of times you'll get wicks to the damage, and then so I'm not trying to play the open. I'm rather trying to play the edge. And so, yeah, that's pretty much what I did. I went ahead and set my limit order right on candle number 1 of this 5-minute time frame, like so. And my target was just to make enough money to get the $500 I needed, which was a 2R. When we had this push down, I got the 2R I needed. And that's it. That's a wrap. That's how I passed the challenge. I'll try to put some sort of screenshot here to just kind of show those 3 trades on the platform. And the reason why I was making this breakdown is because I'm doing a YouTube series for this upcoming week. It is going to be how to essentially run a Traidefy account, a 50K Traidefy account to $20,000 profit. My original investment was, I don't know, 95 bucks, give or take. It's my second eval ever with Traidefy. My first one I'm still working on. It's a 150K account, and I'm going to use that for a separate series. But yeah, this is my second one only. You can see the screenshot here with the numbers. So if you want to follow along and see how I end up doing on my challenge, you can tune in every day at 7 a.m. New York time. I will be live until I'm done trading for the day. Whether that's a win or lose, I do show all my trades live. Traidefy let me know that it's okay for me to stream live my trades, and they don't really have a problem with it. So yeah, shout out to them for giving me the green light on that. I am not sponsored by them by any means, at least not yet, unless they want to give me a sponsorship later on. But yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully you guys will love this series. Please give me any feedback on the breakdown to see if you guys enjoyed it and learned something from it. Thank you. Bye.